Okay. This is your detailed syllabus about the fifth module. So mainly this module covers the topics regarding brakes and braking systems. What are the types of brakes or components in the braking mechanisms, braking vehicles, anti-lock braking system, brake servos, pneumatic operated, air operated, etc. These all things are coming under this module. So what is a braking system? Braking system actually in the second module you have learned about the various types of transmission systems regarding the gears, right? So there we have learned it is alternate, or it is like or the mechanism is like that of the braking system. So both the mechanisms are same. That means in the transmission system where we are changing the gears or slowing or increasing the torque, etc. We are using clutches, different types of clutches, and using that clutch the transmission or what you call the transmission components are disengaged. Either it is engaged or disengaged. By applying a pedal, it got disengaged, and after releasing it is engaged. In such a mechanism is given to the brakes also. Here what happens is when the components are engaged, then the wheel becomes stationary, because there will be some brake pads or components which is connected to the wheel or the wheel part, that will be made stationary by applying brakes. So we'll learn how it is working and all, and the components, main components, what all things are there. So braking system. The braking system is an important system in a vehicle which helps in reducing the speed of the vehicle or stopping the motion of the vehicle in the desired location by means of contact friction. That means it is mainly helps in, there are many purposes. The main thing is to reduce the speed or even stopping of the motion, stopping the vehicle where in the desired location. അതായത് എന്താണ്, mainly to prevent accidents or for controlling the vehicle. We can see while we are moving in a traffic, we may have to reduce the speed, or for controlling the motion of the vehicle, sometimes you have to reduce the speed, or for some purposes, or for parking and all, we have to stop the car. So by altering the or varying the speeds, or even stopping the vehicle, and where for the desired location, wherever you are you have to stop, or for the desired location you have to get these type of variations, and it is conducted by means of contact friction. By it, that is, it is working under the principle of friction. So this is the braking system. So it helps in reducing the speed of the vehicle or stopping the motion of the vehicle in the desired location by means of contact friction. Now it helps to control the vehicle in inclined and curved roads. ഈ പറഞ്ഞ പോലെ തന്നെ എന്താണ്, കൺട്രോൾ ചെയ്യുന്നു. മെയിൻ ഫംഗ്ഷൻ എന്താണ്? ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ടു control the vehicle on inclined, curved, or any type of roads. A device used for slowing or stopping the motion of the vehicle by means of contact friction is called brake. ഇത് ഒരു definition. Brake in the definition. What is a brake? It is a device which is used for slowing or stopping the motion of the vehicle by means of contact friction. Now coming to the working principle. What is the principle behind a braking system? In a braking system, when the brake is applied, there is a contact between the two surfaces, that is brake lining and brake drum. So there are two main components, that is brake lining and a brake drum. So brake drum is connected to the wheel, and also the brake lining. Brake lining means friction materials. Materials will have which have some frictional properties. So what happens when a brake is applied, or the when the driver applies pressure to the brake pad, there will be a contact between the two surfaces. These two surfaces will be in contact, or it is engaged. So as a result, what happens is the brake drum or the brake lining will be contact with the drum, and it will become stationary. Both will become stationary. This leads to friction. What happens when it got engaged? This leads to friction and develops heat, which absorbs the kinetic energy of the vehicle and thus slows or even stop the vehicle. So while contacting these two components, what happens is it creates friction, and as a result of which a heat is developed, and which may absorb the kinetic energy of the vehicle. So by absorbing the kinetic energy, what happens is the speed will be reduced and even stops the vehicle. This is the basic principle behind the braking system. Now we will go on to how or what is the purpose of braking system. Simple concepts. What are the main purposes of a braking system? First one, to stop the vehicle in the desired position. This is the primary purpose of any braking system, whether it is hydraulic or air or hand operated or manual, anything. The primary purpose of the braking system is to stop the vehicle where? At the desired position, at the desired time. Next is to ensure the safety in driving. So for safety, that means if all of a sudden some obstacle comes in front of that, ഏതെങ്കിലും ഭ്രാന്തന്മാർ കയറി ചാടിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, അല്ലെ ബൈക്കുകാരന്മാർ വന്ന് ചാടി, അല്ലേ? സോ വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻ ടു അവർ ജിതിൻ സി 2 days ബിഫോർ, 2 ദിവസം മുമ്പാന്ന് തോന്നുന്നല്ലേ, മുമ്പിലൊരു ഓട്ടോ കയറി വന്നല്ലേ, അപ്പം പെട്ടെന്ന് നമുക്ക് ബ്രേക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയിട്ടുണ്ടായില്ല. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വേറെ എവിടെയെങ്കിലും ആലോചിച്ചിട്ട് ഏതോ ചേച്ചീനെ നോക്കി നടന്നതാന്ന്. അപ്പം അങ്ങനെയൊക്കെയുള്ള കേസിൽ നമുക്ക് എന്താണ്, നല്ലൊരു പെർഫെക്റ്റ് ബ്രേക്കിംഗ് സിസ്റ്റം വേണം. അതേപോലെ ഹെൽമെറ്റും ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ. എന്നിട്ട് എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കാൻ? എനിവേ അറിയില്ല, നോക്കട്ടെ. ജിതിൻ സി ഇല്ല. അത് നമുക്ക് പിന്നീട് ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യാം. ഓക്കെ. So to ensure the safety in the driving, so we should have some safety. For the safety purposes, we use the braking system. Next, to keep the vehicle under control. So in order to have a proper control, we should have the braking system. That is, while we are taking a curve or then suddenly have a irregular surfaces in the road, or by while entering into a hump or pitfall, etc., we have to reduce the speed. So in order to have a perfect control, we use the braking system. So these are the main purposes of a braking system. So first one is to stop the vehicle at the desired position, then to ensure the safety, and next to keep the vehicle under control. Now, we will see what are the factors, various factors which are affecting the efficiency of a braking system. These are the factors which may affect the efficiency, whether it is highly efficient or not. These are the main factors which affect the braking system. So, first one, number of wheels on the vehicle. So, some cars may have, or most of the cars we are having 4 wheels, right? Back side 2 will be there, and front side there will be 2 wheels. Some vehicles or truck we can see there are 6 or 8 or even more. So in each cases, the braking efficiency may vary. So in that manner, the braking mechanism also vary, and we will be giving different alternatives, etc. So the first point is the number of wheels or the factor. This is the first factor which may affect the efficiency. That is number of wheels. Next, weight of the vehicle. So the efficiency may change according to the weight, because you can see due to inertia. So if a empty truck or empty lorry is braking, or suddenly brakes, the driver applies a brake, it will stop at a within a particular time. But if it is heavily loaded, means it will take much more time, right? So it actually works on the principle of inertia, right? So what happens here is, due to the weight, it may change the efficiency also. So this is the next factor, that is weight of the vehicle. Next, size of the brake drum or disc. We know the friction is dependent on the surface area. As the surface area is increasing, the friction also increases, because that much surface the frictional force is acting. So when the size of the brake drum increases, the friction also increases. That much amount of friction or the braking efficiency also will be there. So it depends on the size of the brake drum or brake disc. Next, road surface. Depending on the road surface, whether it is irregular surface or a straight road or something regarding to the road surface. As the road surface vary, the braking efficiency also will vary. If it is a smooth road, that means we won't get any brake there, because there should be some braking or the friction between the road and tire also. So these are the main factors that may affect the efficiency of the braking. So first one is number of wheel. Next is the weight of the vehicle. Next, size of the brake drum, and also road surface. Now we will see various types of braking or the classification. What are the main classification of brakes? How we can, based on certain categories, we can classify various braking system. Okay. These are the main classification types of brakes. That is based on the brake application. Brake application, we can classify the brakes as service brakes or primary brakes, and next is parking or secondary brakes. So we know we are using in the car itself, we are using two types, that is hand brake and the normal brake. The normal brake we are using are the primary type, because we are using in the time of working or driving. Next is the parking and this handbrake also come under that category. Next, based on the actuation, how it is actuated, whether it is by mechanical means or using hydraulic or pneumatic means. By the means of actuation, we can classify into many categories, that is mechanical brakes, hydraulic brakes, air brake, servo brake, electric brakes, etc. So these are the main classification. Actually, in some cases, we may say we can classify as three, that is mechanical, hydraulic, and power braking. So this is the detailed classification. Sometimes in some books it is given that main three classification, that is mechanical or manual brakes. Then so these mechanical brakes come under that category. Then hydraulic brakes where the hydraulic fluid or fluids are used. And last is power braking. The electric brakes, air brakes, etc. comes under that category. Next type of classification is which is based on the brake location, where the brake is located, or depending on the location of the braking system, we can classify as wheel brakes and transmission brakes. Next, based on the construction features, construction or the components, we can see two types, that is drum brake and disc brake. This is the classification which all of you may be familiar, that is drum brake and disc brake. ഏത് ബൈക്ക് എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാലും ഇപ്പം അറിയാലോ, അപ്പം ഓരോരുത്തർ പറയുന്നേക്കാലോ, ക്ലാസിക്കിന് ഡ്രമ്മ്, മറ്റേ ഇതിന് ഹിമാലയന് ഡിസ്ക് എന്നൊക്കെ പറഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഓരോന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്. അപ്പം എല്ലാവർക്കും ഇതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് നല്ല പിടിയുണ്ടാവും. തേജസേ ഉണ്ടോ ഇവിടെ? വണ്ടിയുടെ ഏത് ടൈപ്പ് ബ്രേക്കാ? നിന്റെ പുതിയൊരു ബൈക്ക് ഉണ്ടായില്ലേ, ഡിസ്ക് ആണോ എല്ലാം?
എന്നാ സാർ
ഡിസ്ക് ബ്രേക്ക് ആണോ രണ്ടും, ഫ്രണ്ടും ബാക്കും ഒക്കെ? അല്ലേ, ഓക്കെ. അപ്പൊ ഡിസ്ക് കളിച്ച് പോകണ്ട, അടിച്ചു വീഴും. അടിച്ചു പറത്തിയാണോ പോകുന്നത് എപ്പോഴും? ഡീസന്റ് ആയല്ലേ, നല്ല കാര്യം. മ്യൂട്ടാക്കിയോ? ഓക്കെ. Okay, before going further, we can see certain animation. Okay, we can see certain videos regarding the working of various types of braking systems, and here you can see the master cylinder. We will be discussing about certain components, and this is the master cylinder, and what all things comes under these things or components you can see here. Visualize the various animations. After that, we will get some idea regarding this working. Okay.
Guys, welcome to howmachineworks.com. Today, with the help of this animation, let's learn how a brake master cylinder actually works. So first, let's identify the components, then learn the animation for its working. So this is the brake master cylinder, or the brake master cylinder casing, which is in green. Then we have the piston. That's the brake master cylinder piston or the valve. And so that's the valve stem there supporting it. Then we have the springs inside, and there comes our plunger. So that's the plunger which actually moves inside. Then we have the reservoir which stores the brake oil, and that's the brake oil in brown. There we have the line towards the brake piston, so that's the line where the brake oil is carried towards the brake piston so the brake can be applied. Then we have the brake pedal over there. Finally, that's the brake pedal. Now let's learn its working.
Okay, ഇതൊക്കെയാണ് അതിൻ്റെ മെയിൻ കോമ്പണൻസ്. So here you can see the reservoir where the brake oil is placed or contained, and these are the plunger or piston. We will be discussing about piston. This is the piston, and your spring is provided here. These are the line towards the brake and the brake pedal.
Let's see the animation. So when I'm stepping on the brake pedal, what happens is that it moves inside, and when it moves inside, the piston goes and closes the port which actually is connected towards the reservoir. So it gets closed and no further.
അതാണ്, അതായത് എന്താണ്, പിസ്റ്റൺ പ്രസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു, സോറി, ഈ പറയുന്ന പെഡൽ നമ്മൾ പ്രസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ എന്താ സംഭവിച്ചത്? ഇവിടുത്തെ സ്ലോട്ട് ക്ലോസ്ഡ് ആയി അല്ലേ? സോ വെൻ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് ക്ലോസ്ഡ്, ഈവൻ ആഫ്റ്റർ then we are applying the pressure. വീണ്ടും നമ്മൾ പ്രഷർ കൊടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ എന്താണ്, ഇത് വീണ്ടും മൂവ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ ഒരു പ്രഷർ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യും ഈ പോർഷനിൽ പ്രഷർ ഡെവലപ്പ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ എന്താണെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ സ്വാഭാവികമായിട്ടും ദിസ് ഫ്ലൂയിഡ് വിൽ മൂവ്സ് ടുവേർഡ്സ് ദിസ് ഡയറക്ഷൻ. അങ്ങനെ ഈ ഒരു ഫ്ലൂയിഡ് മൂവ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഇത് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് ബൈ യൂസിങ് ദ പാസ്കൽസ് ലോ എന്തായിരുന്നു പറയുന്നത്? ഒരു ഫ്ലൂയിഡിൻ്റെ ഏതെങ്കിലും ഒരു പോർഷനിൽ നമ്മളൊരു പർട്ടിക്കുലർ പ്രഷർ കൊടുക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ആ പ്രഷർ തന്നെ ബാക്കി എല്ലാ പോയിന്റിലും വരും എന്നാണ് അതിൻ്റെ സിമ്പിൾ ഡെഫിനിഷൻ. അപ്പോൾ ആ ഒരു ബേസിക് പ്രിൻസിപ്പിൾ ഉപയോഗിച്ചാണ് എന്താണ് ബ്രേക്കിങ് നടക്കുക. അപ്പോൾ അത് അവിടേക്ക് നമ്മുടെ പെഡലിൽ നിന്ന്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുന്ന ഫോഴ്സ് അപ്ലൈഡ് ടു ദ പെഡൽ will be transmitted to the part of the brake or brake drums, അല്ലെ ബ്രേക്ക് പാഡിലേക്ക് എങ്ങനെ എത്തിക്കുന്നു അതിൻ്റെയാണ് ഇപ്പോൾ ഇവിടെ കാണിച്ചിരിക്കുന്ന ആനിമേഷൻ.
Brake oil can come inside or go outside now. And I further move the brake pedal. What happens is that the spring compresses and the oil inside moves outside like this towards the brake piston, which is outside. And finally, what happens is that the brake gets applied. So that's how a brake master cylinder works. And when I remove my leg from the pedal, it simply goes back like this. The spring goes back, the oil comes inside, further goes back, and the oil comes inside from the reservoir also and stabilizes. So let's see it once again. I'm stepping on the brake pedal, compressing it, which closes the port from the reservoir, then further compressing the spring once again. Then the oil goes to the brake pistons over there, then again get compressed, and the further it goes to the brake piston and the brake is getting applied, so that the brake line getting pressurized over there. And I lift the pedal. What happens? The oil comes inside, the spring goes back and gets to the normal. So that's how a brake master cylinder works. So I believe you learned its working. For more such videos,
Okay, that was the working of a master cylinder. Mm.